Tobe Keaney. If you're a fan of the young and the restless Joshua Morrow, Nick, you've likely heard that name before. And if you haven't, well, she's the one the CBS soap actor loves to death. The one he once told soaps in depth that he doesn't truly deserve. However, he must, because the couple has been married since the summer of 2001 and share not one, not two, not three, but 4 children together. Where it all began, the couple spent quite some time getting to know each other and dated for 5 years prior to tying the knot on August 4, 2001. Of their beautiful day, spent in front of family and friends, the actor recalled how his wife planned the entire wedding that took place at the Ritz-Carlton Baccarat in Santa Barbara, Calif. And during that truly unforgettable day, he remembered how beautiful she was, how she looked like an angel coming towards me. It was just a magical day. The Morrow and his wife didn't wait long to start a family after saying their I do's and welcomed their first son Cooper Jacob on September 27, 2002. A few years later, on May 27, 2005, another son joined the fold, Crew James, followed by yet another son, Cash Joshua, on April 21, 2008. In 2012, the gender tables turned and the couple introduced their boys to their baby sister, Charlie Jo, on October 30. While there may be some perks to being the only daughter, Morrow joked about some of the dating rules ahead and stated she's not going to be allowed to date, and claimed that unless Charlie Jo's future suitor was a superhero, then no one else need apply because it's not gonna happen. The amount of males in the Morrow family reminds us of another soap star, the bold and beautiful actress who plays Steffi. Jacqueline McSins Wood and her husband Alan Rispoli have 4 boys in their bunch. Predictions really do come true. Rewinding back to way before the couple started a family, Morrow told Soap Opera Digest that 2 days after he and Keaney had met, while on their very first date, when he told her that they were going to get married someday, she replied, "Shut up," then looked at him like some weirdo creep. Well, it looks as though the actor was spot on with that prediction. Creating a star. And while mom and dad are surely proud of all of their kids, when their second oldest, Crew, landed a role on Bold and Beautiful as Will, we can only imagine how awesome it must have felt to know their boy was working right across the hall from his soap vet dad. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Tangled Candy. It's me, Emily, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. In a young and restless preview for the week of September 30, October 4, how the heck is Sharon going to escape prison time? Read on for the details and watch the video below. After fleeing Genoa City in the middle of the night and checking into a seedy motel, Sharon continued to be haunted by visions of Cameron, who kept taunting her to get her revenge on Daniel. After a nightmare of seeing Daniel, whose head was covered in blood, gasping Cassie's name, Cameron pushed her to make her dream come true. He told her it was the only way for her to get justice for Cassie and feel whole again. He then prompted her to discover a small black bottle in her bag, which Cameron revealed was a deadly poison. Sharon soon found herself breaking into Daniel's place and poisoning his whiskey. That's pretty much when all hell broke loose. Sharon fought with Cameron, broke free from his influence, and poured out the whiskey. That's when Heather found Sharon in Daniel's place. The next thing you know, Heather's dead, and Sharon's dumping her body over a bridge. Coming up, Daniel, frowning and looking down at something he's holding, tells Lucy, "Your mom's not coming home." So is Heather really dead? Meanwhile, Sharon tells Nick and Mariah, "That's why I confessed." Nick asks, "Confess to what?" If Sharon killed Heather, how will she be able to live with herself? At least we can guess how she'll stay out of prison. Be sure to read our Young and Restless spoilers to discover who Nick is comforting and what Lily may live to regret. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, Sept 30, 2024, reveal that Daniel brings Lucy home. As Heather goes missing, Sharon faces pressure from her family to explain her disappearance. Later, she uses Heather's phone to send Daniel misleading messages. With Daniel's growing suspicion, Lucy's worries, Sharon's vague answers, and Nick's skepticism, Monday's episode will create a tense atmosphere of looming secrets. Don't miss the suspenseful episode as secrets unravel and tension rise among the characters. Read on to find out more about it. Sharon rejoins her family. In the upcoming episode of The Young and the Restless, Daniel will bring Lucy back to the penthouse, expecting Heather to be there. If Sharon successfully destroyed all the evidence, there won't be any trace of Heather's return. Lucy and Daniel will be filled with questions, prompting Daniel to continuously text and call Heather, who has gone missing. Meanwhile, Nick, Faith, and Morrow will try to uncover what's been happening with Sharon. Although relieved that Sharon is back home, they will want to know why she vanished and where she has been. She will hint at having a confession and share a story, but it likely won't be as damaging as fans anticipate. Viewers can expect her to omit details about breaking into Daniel's place and confronting Heather. Instead, she may focus on covering her actions while pretending to get her life back on track. Her confession might center on expressing her feelings to Cassie and realizing the need to prioritize her family. If Sharon intends to maintain her cover-up, she will need to create the illusion that Heather is still alive and well. To achieve this, she might use Heather's phone to send a text to Daniel, claiming she needs some space. Daniel's growing concern. Daniel, on the other hand, will likely be confused when he receives the text. However, he will update Lucy about Heather's absence. It would be shocking if it appears that Heather has left Genoa City to sort things out. Daniel believed he had resolved things with her and that she was okay with staying in town. Instead, Sharon may give the impression that Heather is upset and needs a break from Genoa City. Our predictions suggest that Daniel will receive a message from Heather while Sharon tries to cover her tracks. Although he will begin to sense something is off, Heather may insist that he shouldn't call or text her again while she figures things out. Wait to see how long Sharon can keep the truth hidden and what Nick will think of the story she decides to share. Regardless, Sharon's freedom is bound to be at stake, so stay tuned to Soap Opera Daily for The Young and the Restless spoilers. What do you think? Will Sharon's guilt make her share the whole story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Next on Young and the Restless. Off the cusp of last week's two explosive shows that centered around Sharon Newman, fans have been left wondering if Heather Stevens is really dead, or if it was all a dream/hallucination. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Will fans find out about Heather's status? Y&R spoilers for Monday, September 30 hint that there still may be some question marks around whether or not Sharon had a hallucination last week, or if Heather is truly gone. The preview video for the week of September 30 October 4 offered some interesting scenes that provide some clues. Y&R spoilers. Lucy Romalotti gets some bad news. Y&R spoilers for Monday, September 30 suggest that Lucy Romalotti and Daniel Romalotti will arrive back at the condo after their ice cream at Society. They'll be expecting to see Heather. However, she won't be there. In fact, it looks as if Daniel will receive a message that Heather won't be coming home. Whether she's sent the message or possibly her body has already been found, he seems rather serious in the preview when he relays this bad news to Lucy as they are both sitting on the couch. On the one hand, if Sharon did kill Heather, in an effort to cover her tracks, she may have taken Heather's phone and sent a text to Daniel stating she's heading out of town for an interview. Then again, if the killing was a dream/hallucination, Heather might very well be working late or possibly at the police station. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Sharon Newman's confession. In the Y&R preview, Sharon is shown at home with Nick Newman, Mariah Copeland, and Faith Newman. It looks like Monday's show will start where Friday's episode closed. Sharon will be updating her family on her whereabouts when she reveals that she's confessed to something. Nick will question what she's confessing to, and Morrow will seem puzzled. It'll be interesting to see where this storyline goes. If Sharon did murder Heather, will she continue to cover her tracks or come clean? Are you excited about Monday's episode? How do you think Sharon's current arc will close? Comment below. Watch Y&R on CBS Daily so you don't miss a moment of the drama, and check out SOS often for the most up-to-date Young and the Restless spoilers and news. Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Sharon Newman keeps a close eye on what is being said about her in the media. After all, as a member of the Newman family and head of Marchetti, she's got to be careful about how she's being perceived by the public. The same could be said for the character's portrayer, Allison Lanier, whose recent social media post was aimed to clear up some online misinformation that had been making its rounds. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Allison Lanier hops on social media to set records straight. Lanier recently hopped on X to set fans straight regarding some misinformation that had surfaced online. In the post, she tweets, "Hey guys, whoever is updating my wiki, I love ya, but you have my birth date wrong and older than I am. The article you're citing is not a credible source." So if fans thought Wiki was ever a trustworthy source, whether you are searching for information on Allison Lanier or anything else, you may want to proceed with caution. Still, Lanier never offered what her birthday actually is, or her age for that matter, so the actress continues to keep fans guessing on those two fronts. Y&R spoilers. If fan questions Lanier, Allison responds. A fan responded to her X post, and of course, Lanier took the time to respond. X user @LoveSason commented on Allison's post by saying, "You check your wiki, that's so cute." To which Lanier responded, "Of course I've googled myself once or twice lol. Gotta see what the soap sites are saying about summer." Seeing that we are one of those soap sites she's referring to in her response, here's hoping Lanier sees this article. May we state, for the record, how amazing Sharon Newman is, and what a wonderful job her portrayer is doing. #more summertime in Genoa City. How cute are both Sharon Newman and Allison Lanier? Comment below. Watch Y&R on CBS Daily so you don't miss a moment of the drama, and check out this site often for the most up-to-date Young and the Restless spoilers and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that with Cameron Kirsten pressuring Sharon Newman, she went to great lengths to cover up what happened at Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Heather Stevens' penthouse. Although Sharon doesn't know for a fact that she's behind Heather's grim fate, she knew she'd go down for killing her if she didn't clean up the mess. Sharon carefully wrapped Heather's body up and wiped away the blood trail as she removed her corpse from the premises. However, we can't help but notice just how exposed Sharon was in the midst of all that. Y&R fans watched as Sharon lugged Heather's body out the door, into the hallway, and down the staircase before loading it into her vehicle. Sharon obviously thinks she got by undetected, but could surveillance footage come back to haunt her? Was Sharon caught on camera at some point during the body removal? That building is obviously a pretty fancy place since billionaire Devin Hamilton Winters used to live there. It's far-fetched to think they wouldn't have any kind of security footage at all. At some point, somebody may dig into some surveillance tapes and try to get to the bottom of what really happened that night. Whether that's the cops or even Daniel himself, someone's going to pursue answers eventually. It looks like Sharon may be able to throw everyone off the trail for a while, but it's just a matter of time until the cover-up falls apart. The cops will inevitably take a closer look at Heather's vanishing act and could point the finger straight at Sharon. Will Sharon have to explain why she was seemingly lugging a body out of Daniel's penthouse and down the stairwell to her car? Sharon may land on the hot seat if the security camera footage ultimately trips her up. Of course, that could lead to all kinds of forensic evidence at Daniel's place, since Sharon nearly wiped the blood away. There's going to be proof that Heather's blood was on that floor once a proper investigation happens. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the walls may close in on Sharon down the road, so stick with us for updates on all the chaos and predictions on the bad news that's brewing for her. The Young and the Restless spoilers preview video for the week of September 30, October 4 reveals that Sharon Newman will have to give her family an explanation following her homecoming. After a one-sided conversation at Cassie Newman's grave, it'll seem like Sharon's going to come clean. Y&R's weekly preview shows Sharon insisting that's why she confessed, but that'll just create more confusion. Nick Newman will ask what Sharon confessed to, while Mariah Copeland and Faith Newman wonder the same thing. However, Sharon may not go through with an admission of guilt related to Heather Stevens' demise. Instead, Sharon might claim she confessed to Cassie about letting her family down and how much she wanted to make things right. Perhaps Sharon's graveside chat with Cassie actually made her see how much she has to cling to her freedom and be with her family. Whatever the case, Y&R went to a lot of trouble having Sharon clean up the crime scene and dispose of Heather's body. It seems silly to have Sharon do all that just so she can confess it all immediately. This feels like a fake-out confession instead, so Sharon may admit she's been off her meds, or at least that she's been rejecting her family's help when she shouldn't. Over with Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Lucy Romalotti, they'll worry about Heather's vanishing act. When Daniel gets a text on his phone, Lucy will hope it's Heather with updates on her whereabouts. Unfortunately, Daniel will look confused as he delivers unsettling news. We'll see a puzzled Daniel tell Lucy that her mom's not coming home, so Sharon might send a fake text from Heather's phone to explain her disappearance. Maybe Sharon will make it seem like Heather needed to get away for a while, especially after Daniel stood against the idea of leaving town like she wanted. Thanks to Sharon texting in her place, Heather might warn Daniel not to contact her and claim she needs time alone. Perhaps Heather will even make a prediction about her relationship with Daniel not working out. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Daniel and Lucy will struggle to make sense of all this, so stay tuned to watch them mull over the clues. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. Paul's kids just cannot catch a break on the Young and the Restless. First, Ricky was shot and killed by his own dad when he went off the homicidal deep end, and now it looks like Heather's dead, too, courtesy of Sharon's psychotic break. We aren't totally surprised. We saw this coming the second Heather and Sharon ran into each other, but we thought maybe it would just result in a coma and amnesia, not murder. But today's episode was all about Sharon's confrontation with Heather after being caught, and her apparent death at Sharon's hands. You can catch up on what happened in our recap here. The long and the short of it, after arguing, Sharon blacked out, and when she came to, Heather was dead. Cameron helped her clean up, dispose of the body, and come to terms with what she'd done. It doesn't look good. There's still hope, of course. Sharon could have become so delusional that all of this happened in her head, and Heather is still alive and well. But this would be one heck of an intricate delusion. Vale Bloom's been back in the role as Heather for a little under 2 years now, having rejoined the show early in 2023. 13 years after her first run playing Paul's daughter. And so far, there's been no word on whether or not Bloom is done at Young and Restless. Even if Heather is truly dead, that doesn't mean she's gone, of course. With someone as prone to hallucinations as Sharon is right now, we could soon see her joining Cameron in tormenting her killer. There's still a whole lot of unanswered questions, so hopefully, we'll find out what truly happened sooner rather than later. But for now, rip Heather. Young and the Restless early weekly spoilers find Sharon Newman panicking after she goes too far during the week of September 23 to 27, 2024 on Y&R. Take a look at the latest spoilers for the CBS daytime drama. Young and the Restless early weekly spoilers. Sharon Newman at point of no return. Next week, Y&R weekly spoilers see Sharon Newman in shambles. She's still in a motel having conversations with Cameron Kirsten in her head. She tells him that Daniel Romalotti was hurt and bleeding in her recent nightmare. Then Cameron tells her only she can make her dreams come true on Young and the Restless. Later, Sharon is outside distraught and in tears asking herself, how did this happen? How am I ever going to get out of this? Indeed, it appears she goes after Daniel. Y&R weekly spoilers. Nick Newman scrambles. While Sharon Newman is visiting her dark side because of Cameron Kirsten, Nick Newman racks his brain on how to find her. Next week, he's with his daughter, Mariah Copeland, and her wife, Tessa Porter. They track down Daniel Romalotti at Society, and Nick asks him about his last encounter with Sharon. He asks if she said anything about needing to get away to clear her head, or if she mentioned that she's going on a trip. Indeed, Daniel looks confused on Young and the Restless and asks if they don't know where Sharon is. So Daniel may want to help and go looking for Sharon, and that could be where things take a dangerous turn. Surely it looks like Sharon is about to hurt Daniel on Young and Restless. She might try to kill him. And whether she succeeds or not, that might be the mess she's wondering how she can ever get out of. Young and the Restless early edition spoilers. Adam switches gears. Meanwhile, on Y&R, Adam Newman shifts. Though he's a mess over losing Sally Spectra, he's starting to consider a future with Chelsea Lawson. Recently, he admitted to Chelsea that he's considering them having a future as a couple the way they used to be. Furthermore, he thinks that what happened between them in Baltimore was more than just desperation and fear. He can't shake it. No doubt, they're in a much better place now on Young and the Restless. They both have a better handle on their mental health, so they could probably be good together if they try again. However, Chelsea is not on the same page. When Adam expressed this to her, she got upset and took off. But clearly, it seems like a reunion between them is coming, and it seems to all be starting now. Y&R weekly spoilers are on fire next week. Keep tuning in to see how Sharon Newman gets out of her horrific mess on the CBS soap opera. The Young and the Restless Sharon Newman's mental health storyline hit its climax during the show when Heather Stevens found her nemesis in her apartment. Sharon had initially broken into the condo to poison Daniel Romalotti. However, upon reflection, and despite Cameron Kirsten's egging, she decided not to. As she was leaving, Heather caught Sharon in her home, and things turned ugly fast. The two got into an argument, and as Heather was about to call the police, Sharon's mental instability took over. When Sharon woke up on the couch, Heather was dead. Instead of calling the hospital or the police, her Cameron hallucination convinced her to get rid of the body, clean up the murder mess in the apartment, and act as if she wasn't guilty of anything. A very emotional Sharon did just that, but Y&R viewers wonder if she won't be wrought with guilt as the days and weeks go by. Still, was Heather's passing real? Was Sharon behind it? Could Sharon be dreaming? Perhaps it was all a hallucination. Josh Morrow recently spoke with Sod, ahead of Sharon Case/Sharon Newman's big 30th anniversary. Morrow reflected on the 30-year relationship between Schick and how he and Case have worked together so closely over the past 3 decades, noting what an incredible talent his co-star is and how the Y&R is lucky to have her. He also sang the praises of both Case and Lyndon Ashby, their incredible dynamic, and the amazing story they were telling on daytime drama screens. Morrow tells Sod that she's killing it. I'm very proud of her. Don't be expecting anything from me in this story. But Sharon Case absolutely murders the storyline, along with Lyndon. Murder, you say, Josh? Interesting word choice to describe Case and Lyndon's arc, considering what went down during Thursday's show. Is this all real? If it is, could it also be possible that Sharon didn't kill Heather as she blacked out? Only time will tell. The Young and the Restless spoilers remind fans that this storyline has had so many twists and turns to date that just about anything is possible when it comes to the outcome of it all. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that with Cameron Kirsten pressuring Sharon Newman, she went to great lengths to cover up what happened at Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Heather Stevens' penthouse. Although Sharon doesn't know for a fact that she's behind Heather's grim fate, she knew she'd go down for killing her if she didn't clean up the mess. Sharon carefully wrapped Heather's body up and wiped away the blood trail as she removed her corpse from the premises. Y&R fans watched as Sharon lugged Heather's body out the door, into the hallway, and down the staircase before loading it into her vehicle. Sharon obviously thinks she got by undetected, but could surveillance footage come back to haunt her? Was Sharon caught on camera at some point during the body removal? That building is obviously a pretty fancy place, since billionaire Devin Hamilton Winters used to live there. It's far-fetched to think they wouldn't have any kind of security footage at all. At some point, somebody may dig into some surveillance tapes and try to get to the bottom of what really happened that night. Whether that's the cops or even Daniel himself, someone's going to pursue answers eventually. It looks like Sharon may be able to throw everyone off the trail for a while, but it's just a matter of time until the cover-up falls apart. The cops will inevitably take a closer look at Heather's vanishing act and could point the finger straight at Sharon. Will Sharon have to explain why she was seemingly lugging a body out of Daniel's penthouse and down the stairwell to her car? Sharon may land on the hot seat if the security camera footage ultimately trips her up. Of course, that could lead to all kinds of forensic evidence at Daniel's place, since Sharon merely wiped the blood away. There's going to be proof that Heather's blood was on that floor once a proper investigation happens. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the walls may close in on Sharon down the road, so stick with us for updates on all the chaos and predictions on the bad news that's brewing for her. CDL will have other scorching Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, news, and updates to check out, so stop by often for more Y&R info. Y&R/Joshua Morrow plays Nick Newman on Y&R. While we are still wondering whether Heather Stevens is really dead on The Young and the Restless. While we question all of it, actor Joshua Morrow has given his 2 bits to the thought. In a recent interview, the actor hinted what is coming up next on the soap opera. Want to know more? Keep reading till the end. Sharon kills Heather. Y&R spoilers for September 26, 2024, reveal that Sharon Newman's mental condition will land her in a tragic situation. As we saw, it looks like she will end up killing Daniel Romalotti's wife, Heather Stevens. However, the story did not end there. Sharon does not stop here. She hallucinates Cameron Kristen, suggesting she get rid of the dead body and the evidence to avoid the scrutiny and hatred from her family. Unstable Sharon then goes on to dump Heather's body and erases all the evidence. Actor Joshua Morrow, who plays Sharon's on-screen partner Nick Newman, has spilled beans on her captivating storyline that is coming up. He recently appeared on an interview with Soap Opera Digest in the wake of Sharon Newman's 3-decade anniversary on Y&R. The actor spoke on several things, including his bond with co-star Sharon Case, who portrays Sharon Newman on Y&R. The actor mentioned that they have spent nearly 30 years together on the show, and their bond has strengthened with time. Describing Case, Joshua said, "She is incredibly talented and a blessing for Y&R." On the ongoing developments, he said, "Sharon is killing the storyline, and I am proud of her." Further, he says, "What an amazing storyline Sharon and Lyndon Ashby are delivering to the fans. I think they are going to love it." He mentioned that Sharon's character has always been asked to do more in comparison to anyone else, at least for the moment. On the plot ahead, Joshua said, and right now she's murdering the storyline. It will be interesting to watch what Lyndon and Sharon do with their storyline coming ahead. Joshua's insistence on the killing of the storyline and Lyndon's significance in the scenario says a lot about the development. It indeed appears like a hint that Devil Cameron Kristen has made a strong hold on Sharon Newman's mind, strong enough that she might embark upon the dangerous journey as Cameron suggests in her hallucination. As another hint, which can suffice the speculation, we have the spoiler for Friday, September 27, 2024, aired after yesterday's September 26, 2024, episode. The preview video drops another major clue. It features Sharon sitting with her family in a hall, where Daniel tells Lucy that your mom is not coming home. Then Sharon says, "That's why I confessed," and the video goes on to show Nick questioning Sharon about her confession. As the event suggests, Sharon's confession may have everything to do with Heather's absence. Now, as all the evidence is in the favor of the murder plot and supports the idea that Sharon might kill Heather in the coming episode, does this mean Vale Bloom is really quitting Y&R? Well, the Young and the Restless makers have not made any official confirmation about the exit yet, nor has Vale made any revelation. Considering that, we have to wait patiently for the story to unfold. Y&R/Sharon has a confession on Heather's whereabouts. The menace on the Young and the Restless seems to have no cure anytime soon. Sharon Newman's mental illness seems to have taken over her senses, leading to Heather Stevens' murder plot on the show. Now, as the story seems to continue with her demise, spoiler suggests Sharon is going to play wacky for a while. Stay tuned until last to know all the details. Where is Heather? Y&R preview for the week of September 30 shows Daniel Romalotti and Lucy Romalotti baffled about Heather's whereabouts. Daniel seems tense and confused, sitting in a hall with his daughter Lucy, who seems to be equally worried for her mother Heather. Daniel receives a text on his phone, after which he tells Lucy that Heather is not coming home. Both of them appeared shocked and stressed about Heather. Sharon, who is struggling with her mental illness, has kept herself secluded from the family. But in the preview, she finally makes an appearance with her loved ones. It features her in the same room as Daniel and Lucy, where the father-daughter duo is worried about Heather's absence. Soon after Daniel and Lucy's conversation, Sharon says, "That's why I have confessed." Here, she's talking about the confession she made at Cassie's grave in the previous episode. Nick Newman, who is also present, asks Sharon to have confessed what? Sharon seems to be in a trap as she's surrounded by her family and Daniel and Lucy are worried for Heather. With so much going on, Nick and others being worried about Sharon's condition will likely expect an explanation from her. But will she? On the September 26, 2024 episode, we saw Sharon visiting daughter Cassie Newman's grave, where she did some talking with her late daughter. She made a confession about Heather's killing to Cassie. However, will she tell it to her family? It doesn't look like that. Sharon herself is dejected with her unstable condition and how miserably she has failed to handle all on her own. So this confession might be about her mental illness and hallucinations. Also, how she has failed her family by not being honest with them. On the other side, Daniel is worried about what's wrong with Heather. He has received a text from Heather, but isn't she dead? Does this mean it's Sharon sending out messages on Heather's behalf? As the preview for September 26, 2024 has established, it was Sharon who killed Heather, so it should be her keeping Heather's phone and texting Daniel. As the spoiler suggests, Sharon is going to kill Heather and dispose of her corpse, but obviously it wouldn't be easy to confess or accept it. This leads us to another possibility that now Sharon for some time will try to distract Daniel and her family from Heather. because else she will have to face the consequences for which she does not seem to be ready at all and may never be. Well, that does not mean she would be able to hide it forever. She might succeed in delaying, and that too for how long? That has to be seen. The storyline for Sharon Newman on The Young and the Restless seems so gripping, and we surely are eager for this murder plot to unveil. But don't be surprised if something unexpected happens on Y&R, because that's how soaps are, unpredictable. Till then, stay tuned with Soap Opera Daily for all the latest updates on your favorite soaps. Also, don't you think Sharon should confess her crime as soon as possible to avoid turning things uglier? Do share your thoughts below. Soaps.com's latest Young and Restless spoilers for Monday, September 30 through Friday, October 4, are awash in tears. As news begins to spread that one of Genoa City's own has been dealt a most unfortunate hand, Daniel is left to pick up the pieces. Sharon is forced to cover her tracks, and Phyllis is moved to turn to an old flame for comfort. Get the details on these teasers and more below. Young and Restless spoilers week of September 30. Young and Restless spoilers for Monday, September 30. Sharon faces a moral dilemma, and given what she's done, we have a feeling it won't be the only one she stares down in the weeks ahead. As Daniel searches for Heather, we want nothing more than to warn him that he's not gonna like where he finds her. Young and Restless spoilers for Tuesday, October 1. With good reason, Victor questions Victoria's loyalty to Billy. She could prove to be the fatal flaw in what he thinks is a foolproof plan to destroy her former husband. Kyle outsmarts Audra, which makes it, yes, your move, Audra. Considering the timing, when Nate receives a mysterious message, we have to wonder if this long-gone character will turn out to be whom it's from. Young and Restless spoilers for Wednesday, October 2. Victor challenges Audra and Kyle. But to what? Go a day behaving like colleagues instead of adversaries. Good luck with that. Since Daniel learns devastating news, it would appear that Vale Bloom really is done as Heather. The Abbotts clearly know that key to a successful marriage is having shared interests. So thank goodness Diane is as into strategizing as Jack. That's exactly what they have on the agenda today. Young and Restless spoilers for Thursday, October 3. Talk about strange bedfellows. As Victor conspires with Lily, we can only wonder how long it will be before she regrets her decision to make a deal with the devil. As Sharon keeps up appearances, let's hope for her sake that she has a better poker face than Chelsea. As word spreads that the Grim Reaper has paid Genoa City a visit, Nick comforts Phyllis. Young and Restless spoilers for Friday, October 4. Adam gives Chelsea some tough love. Which, hey, is still better than no love at all, right? While Billy commiserates with Sally, our suspicions grow that a new power couple is about to be born. Daniel struggles with his new reality. We have faith that he'll make it through, though. Look at all he's already endured in his wild life.